Hey guys, welcome back. This is our favorite read alouds from this past school year. All right guys, welcome back. I'm Laura Wilkie with Down Home with Lemon Pie, and I am so excited to share this with you guys because this is a viewer requested video. This is a video about our favorite read alouds from this past school year, and I've shared throughout the school year books that we've enjoyed, books that we've been reading. I've done some author studies that I have shared personal videos on those individually. You can check those out below. If you're interested, you can go look at my Watch Us Homeschool Wednesday where I kind of went through some of those and I was sharing videos about books that we were doing as we were doing them. But I went through all of the books that we read this year as long as I got them all. And you know what? Just a little side note, if you have not done that, if you feel like at the end of your school year, we didn't do anything or we didn't hardly do what I wanted to do, if you go back and write down all the things that you actually did, you will be amazed. So that is what I did. And I made a short list here, fairly short, of books that were our just favorites. The ones that most of the kids enjoyed, the ones that I enjoyed, the ones that they remember or that were true living books that really spoke to us, that we, we loved, the books we loved. So that is what this video is about. Some of them I have here to show you. Some of them I've already put away. So I will just put a little link here if you want to see those as well. Okay, before I get started, I should let you know that I am a Christian homeschool mama. I do have 7 little ones, so I have a wide range of books that we have been reading this school year. And I will let you know also that we were studying the time period with the very beginning of America. We were doing Story of the World Volume 3. I have videos on what we thought of that and what we're going to do next year. All of that is linked below if you want to check those out. But that is the time period we were studying. So a lot of these kind of fall into that time period in one way or another, or they were with particular favorites with the little ones. And I do have some picture books in here, and I have some chapter books. I have all kinds of stuff, some fiction, some nonfiction, just all kinds of things that we enjoyed and I wanted to share with you guys as our favorites. I'm actually going to start with last summer because this is the book that we were reading last summer, which it's kind of where we started our school year. We use school year round. So that is where I would say we started. And this was, we did like a mountain unit study. We read a bunch of books about the mountains, and that video is linked below if you want to know what books we read. And this one, by far the kids' favorite. They still reference it. It was actually my very favorite when I was a kid, and it's just so good. It's like one of those books that I feel like it empowers kids because it's a boy going off to the wilderness and trying to survive, and I feel like it empowers the kids on look what we can do. And it is My Side of the Mountain. This is part of a trilogy, which I learned later. We did not venture into the trilogy. We only read this one, but there are 2 more that go with it. You can see them there on the back, and we may get to them later, but I think I'm going to save them and let the kids, if they want to do them, let them do them on their own. But absolutely loved it. Loved it. I mean, just really loved it. It's a good story. It's such a good story. So like I said, we probably won't venture into the trilogy, but when I see them out, like when we're at the library and we're browsing books, I do point them out and I say, look, that's the 2nd and 3rd book for that book that we read if you guys wanted to read them. And so, you know, kind of keeping it fresh in their minds. We did do 2 author studies this school year. And like I said, I did individual author study videos to share those with you guys. But I wanted to show you which books were our very favorites. And the first author that we studied was Charles Dickens, and we read several books, but the very favorite was this one here, Oliver Twist. The kids actually still reference this scene, this exact scene where he says, "May I have some more?" And you know, whenever they're eating dinner or whatever and they like it and they bring me their bowl. And anyway, it's like an inside joke now because, "May I have some more, please?" And anyway, from Oliver Twist. So they liked that one a lot. And like I said, in that video I shared with you guys, we read this version. I told you why. We also read this, and I read this out loud to the kids around Christmas time. We did read Christmas Carol, but that was not a favorite. This was a favorite, and I loved this as well. Now, of course, this particular story you could get straight from the Bible, but there was something about doing it during our author study during Christmas time that was just so special. And it was The Life of Our Lord by Charles Dickens. He did write this for his children, like to them, so it is written in a child-friendly manner that you can read aloud easily, and it is just so good. I really liked it. I got this one off of Thrift Books, and I think it's just beautiful. It's just so beautiful, guys. So there you go. Like I said, you could obviously get the actual accurate account with all the details from the Bible, obviously, but similar to having a children's Bible, that's kind of what it is, which is perfectly fine as well. I did go through it. I didn't see any issues as far as accuracy, but if somebody goes through it and sees something, let us all know. Okay, the second author that we did in the second semester was Mark Twain. Again, I did a whole individual video on just the books we read, what I thought about them, all of that. It is linked below. Okay, Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, two very good classics, adventure stories for boys in particular, but girls too. We just really enjoyed them, particularly Tom Sawyer. It was well loved, enjoyed by all of the kids, even my little ones, my twins who just turned 5. Can you believe it? They're already 5. Just good stories. Again, I talked about all the ifs, ands, and buts with all the books we read with Mark Twain, you know, appropriateness and all that. I addressed all of that in the video below, so check that out if you're looking for that. But yeah, enjoyed those, and the kids did too. This one we did also last summer. After we did My Side of the Mountain, we did this one, and it was our signer's study. This was the 56 stories behind the Declaration of Independence. So appropriate for 4th of July time, so appropriate for any time really, but this was so good. It went story by story, like each person who signed the Declaration of Independence, and it gave you kind of their story, where they were, how they signed, why they signed, what happened after they signed. Did it, were they killed, or were their family killed, or were they robbed, or what happened? Just all the things. It tells you about their family a little bit. The chapters were really short, so this would be, whoops, see how old my book is? It's falling apart. But it would be like, this is one guy, and they were very short like this, all of them. And then it would go to the next one. So we did one a day. Let me put this back in. We did one a day. I need to get a new copy because it's that good. And it's one that I would like to have. I want to have it on our bookshelf. I want my grandkids to have access to it. And it's one also that I shared with you guys last year about our homeschool curriculum, what we were planning. I was creating it all myself. And then I shared with you this year what you do when you have things that you didn't complete. And there is a part 2 to this. It is the Constitution, the signers of the Constitution. I think it's called Founders. And I wanted to read that one as well. So we're going to try to get to that one this summer because, you know, we just didn't get to it. So that doesn't mean we have to be done and just give up. We're just going to keep going. So I talked about that in that video as well, where I mentioned, you know, what do you do when you have things you didn't get to, and how does that all work, and is it bad or good or whatever. Anyway, if that's interesting to you, it's below. But this is the signers. This is the signers, and it was just so interesting to see all of the people. I did make sure it also gave you like before each section, like, because this was people from Pennsylvania and then all the signers from Pennsylvania, and then it would go and tell you about each one. But I did with each one talk with the kids, and I did make sure to point out whether or not they believed in God and what the cost was for them to sign it, how important it was that they signed it and how that affected them after that. I did make sure to point all of those things out so they could start to see the consistencies throughout, because it's not being taught and it is being taught in our home. So I went with that, and like I said, I really enjoyed it. This one, we were running out of time in our school year, and I still wanted to squeeze it in, and so I did the audio book version of this, which I actually don't normally recommend because this is so beautifully well done. It is The Little House on the Prairie. Like I said, so beautifully well done if you get the full color collector's edition like I do, but you can see we didn't even open it because we did the audio version, which we got from the library just to kind of get it done quicker. And so good. So good. I do like in particular these full color collector's editions because sometimes it references something that you don't, it's like describing it and you're not really sure what they're talking about, but then it'll have a picture of it to help you. So that's why I do like these. But anyway, yeah, this is it says book 3 in the series. We've read several of these, but I try to squeeze one in every school year. So we haven't read the whole series completely, but we've done On the Banks of Plum Creek, and we've done Farmer Boy, and there's another one we've done, but I try to squeeze them in where we can. At some point, we'll probably just put them all together and reread them all as like one lengthy thing. But for now, we're just doing one a school year and squeezing them in like we can. So that was a favorite. The kids liked it. And I was actually really surprised at how much my 7-year-old enjoyed it, because I thought he might be bored listening to an audiobook in the car. And I mean, we would sit outside of places because he wanted to finish it. And so, you know, he really enjoyed it. And the other kids would talk about it. My twins, even, who just turned 5, so they were 4 when we read this, would bring things up. But isn't this like them? And isn't that? And they would start to remember. And I love that. So that was exciting. Okay. What else did we read that we really liked, guys? I did these at bedtime. We hit the library early on in the school year at a library book sale, and they had some Dick King Smith books that they were getting rid of, and I picked up a bunch of them, and this was one of them, The Stray. So good, guys. A little old lady, and she doesn't really have a home, and this family kind of adopts her, and so good for teaching like those values with older people, elderly. Anyway, she kind of becomes the nanny for the kids, but really they're kind of nannying her, and she doesn't have any money. She ends up, there's like a lottery at the end. It's just a cute story. It's well done. It's an easy read, and there are pictures throughout, so you could do it as a read aloud or have your kiddos who are able to read, you know, go through it on their own. The font is fairly big, but it's just so cute. I don't know why I remember they're on the cake because there was a scene in here, and she had a dog that she found too that was also a stray, and so she kind of related to this dog. It was just so cute, guys. One of those books, and Dick King Smith is so great for this, but one of those books that is very wholesome and old-fashioned, and just, it's like a cuddle. It's like a cuddle in a book. So that, and then we also read by the same author, I've already put it away, Cuckoo Child, about a boy who ends up with an egg from the zoo, and they are going to get rid of it, and he ends up hatching it, and it is like an emu, I think, or maybe an ostrich or something, a very big bird, and he ends up raising it, not thinking much of it, ends up raising it, he's riding it, he's having all these adventures, and they come to take it back, and it's so well done. You want some good living books, Dick King Smith is perfect for that. This one, I would say, great for, you know, learning about the elderly, where they're coming from, and just wholesome fun. They're at the beach, fun stuff. Cuckoo one has a lot of references to what that is, how that works, as far as ostriches, and there's some technical science things going on. So good, guys. So I think those are both great. The little ones, those were books that I did with my youngest 4, so they were 8 and down. But I told my big girls they should read them too because they were so cute. We have a couple more that we picked up by Dick King Smith. I just haven't gotten to them yet, so we're going to look into those too. One that I did enjoy with the kids was Giant Steps for Little People. Love me some Kenneth Taylor. He always does such a great job with books for kids. I haven't read a bad one yet, and I kind of try to collect them all. So this is part of I think there's 3 of these in his series. This one is Giant Steps, but they're all very similar. They're just a little bit different in what they're teaching, but they're very good for character building. And this has a picture. It has a little verse, like a rhyme to remember, and then it explains it here. And then it has some questions that you can answer, a prayer to pray together, and a Bible verse to memorize. It's like a complete little character study all at once. And I loved it so much. This one is about the Sermon on the Mount and the 10 Commandments. There's another one that is, I think the Psalms, and I can't remember what the other one is, but they're all so good. They're just so good. This one's Giant Steps, but if you search him, you'll find them. They all look fairly similar, and they're like this, like the longer rectangle book, and the insides all look fairly similar as well. But just a very good little character study. So we did that as like a morning time for my little bitties. Okay, this one I just picked up. I actually just shared it with you guys in my used book haul that I just picked up video, and the kids already have enjoyed this so much because it's hilarious the way it is done. It is Stu Hample's Book of Bad Manners. It's just well done. We read through it a few times already, and we've got the sloppy sneezer. It's just all the things you don't want to do. The stinker, the nose picker, the belcher, the pig boy, the bragger, the name caller, the meanie, the movie mumbler, the demolition gang. And it has it in a fun way that kids can relate to. They enjoyed this, and after I read this, they immediately grabbed it back off the shelf and reread it again immediately. And books like that, they don't come every day, so that's why I wanted to share it with you guys. It was a favorite. This one was also a favorite because they have 7 kids and we have 7 kids, and it is the 7 Silly Eaters. It is very cute. However, I do want to point out before I get too far that I've heard this author may have some other books other than this that may have an agenda. So look into that. I don't know. I think they do, but I haven't read them, so I don't know. But I just saw a little blip about it. But I love this book. The whole thing is done in a rhyme, like a poem, but it's very rhymey and very cute, and it's very real. It's very realistic as far as how your house might look if you are a busy mom with 7 little ones and you are raising them and the things that they do. That is one of the things I love about this book, is there's just so much to look at, and you're thinking, Mama, I get you. I get you, Mama, and I know how you feel, and I know. Anyways, it's so cute. The kids end up planning a birthday cake for Mama because she works so hard for them, and they try their best, and it doesn't quite turn out the way they thought, but it ends up being perfect anyways. How true is that for life all the time? So the 7 Silly Eaters. I do want to point these out because I haven't talked about these much, and my kiddo loves them. He's 7. This is one of his favorites. It is the Blaze series by C.W. Anderson. I've just shown you these a few times whenever I've gotten them like on Book Outlet. He loves these so much that they are getting worn out because we read them all the time. And yeah, they're starting to get torn up, so I had to move them to a safer place. But look at this. It's got food on it right here. They've got bent pages, bent covers. They're just starting to get so worn because he loves them, but I want them to stay nice because these are, again, old-fashioned, wholesome, clean stories about boys being boys and not being shamed for their true nature that God gave them, and that's why I love these. So this is the Blaze series. You can probably find them, at least some of them, at your library. Some of them are hard to find, but they're re-putting them out in this paperback version, so that makes it a little easier. But yeah, they're all about a boy and his horse. And in a lot of them, he is a hero in some way. He saves things or he helps people or whatever. So they just teach really good things. He's a good friend. It's just, they're very good. I wanted to share them with you guys because my guys, like I said, love them. And we are reading them out, wearing them out. So the last one that we did as a favorite read aloud that I wanted to share with you guys is this book right here. It is one of my favorite versions of all of these in one, and it is the Peter Rabbit 5-minute stories. I did pick this up off a book outlet, I think 2 years ago maybe. Periodically you can still find it though, and this particular version, I love it. It is the 13 Timeless Tales from Beatrix Potter. I love Beatrix Potter. If you didn't already know, my youngest actually is Emma Beatrix. For that reason, my oldest son loved Peter Rabbit. We did a Peter Rabbit birthday party for him, but I love the way these are done. You've got the year there. They have the pictures through each story. They're so good and beautiful. And you can catch the, there is like an animated BBC version of a lot of these stories. So we did it where we would read the story and then we would watch that. Like when I was making lunch or something, they would watch it. They liked that a lot. So I did these with my twins, my youngest two. They were 4 when we started and now they are 5. We're probably going to go through it a few more times in our homeschool because I love it so much and it's so fitting for so many things. It's good. Wholesome, good, again, wholesome, clean stories that are just good. They're just good. So, that wraps up, guys, the favorite read alouds from this school year. I hope that you guys have joined in, and left a comment below telling me what your favorite read alouds were from this school year, because I am starting to look into what read alouds we're going to do next year. And I'm interested to know what you guys are reading or what you did read, what you liked, what you didn't like. Share that below for the whole community. We all need to lean on each other and see those because it's good. Definitely if they are agenda free, clean, wholesome, those kinds of things, share them below. Let us all know. What are your favorite things? What are you reading? I will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me for Homeschool Fellowship Friday. I will see you guys next time.